Hi, my name's Jonathan Hicks. I'm back at the Dice Cup, and this evening I'm joined by
Steve 5.
and we've just finished playing Photosynthesis. Now, as you can see, this is a game about growing trees in this nice forest here, and essentially you're trying to harvest the trees for points. So you kind of plant these, I was orange in this case, you plant the little seeds, and then they grow into small trees, and then medium trees, and then eventually you're trying to get them into these big trees here, and then you can harvest these. And depending on where they are in the forest, you're getting different amounts of points. So if you manage to harvest right in the middle with the 4 leaves on the bottom there, then you're going to get the big points. You get 21 points for that. But as more people harvest from spaces, their point values are going down. So you're kind of racing to harvest from the various places. Near the edge, you're not getting so many points, but close to the middle, you're getting more points. In terms of how you actually plant all the trees, though, you have this sort of supply of trees here, and each round you get a certain amount of light points, which you can then spend to plant more things on the board. And the way it works is you've got the sun, in this case it's from this angle here, but each round the sun will move round. So on the next round, the sun comes, over there, and now the sun is shining in that direction. So you count up, this little tree is going to get me 1 light point, but this one is in the shadow of this one. It casts a sort of shadow of 1 high, so this doesn't get me anything. A bigger tree gets me more light points, I get 2 points for this, but again this is blocking, cast a shadow of 2, this tree down here, so I'm going to get a point for this one, but not this one. So you can see depending on where the trees are, and you're going to block other people's trees potentially as well, you're getting a certain number of light points each round, so you count up your light points and then you get to spend them. This, you can't just plant these, this is like a supply board, so if I wanted another small tree I would have to pay 2 light points, I can pull it off my board, and then these are the trees I actually have available to plant on the board. Planting a seed costs you 1, and then upgrading it is 1 to a small tree, 2 to a medium tree, etc. So you're paying a certain amount of light points to upgrade, and then a big pile of light points to actually harvest the tree. And you can see the different sizes of the trees can cast the seeds a certain distance. So if you've got a really big tree, it can send a seed quite a long way across the forest. So you're planting your trees, growing them up, trying to harvest them, racing to block each other and harvest the points first. Whoever has the most points wins. What do we think?
I really like this game. Second time I played this game. First time I wasn't too sure about it. I found it very, very difficult. Very much, very much of a brain drain. But second time I played it, I realise what the good strategies are. I like the way that you can plant the seeds further away depending on what tree you've got. If you've got this tree, you can plant it that way, or two bits on, so you can really like kind of almost screw people over with it, which I always enjoy doing that to you at times. But yeah, really, really good. I like these kind of puzzly type games, and yeah, it was a really good, solid game, and I thoroughly understand why this is a hot game at Essen.
Okay, Steve?
It's a game that rewards forward planning. I quite like it, and there's nothing like this theme-wise at all. You're not necessarily trying to get to the best spots in the middle, the one that's scoring the most points, because if you pick one of those spots that's surrounded by all these massive trees, that tree that you're trying to grow there is actually not getting you any income back. So you might find it more profitable to be in some of the slightly lower scoring points ones that aren't blocked. So if you can plan when you grow your tree so that as the sun moves around, that tree is straight away getting you those some points, and if you have the choice to upgrade 2 trees, you want to upgrade the one that will keep getting you light. If you're not getting light, you're struggling to do anything, so that's really nice. It's also quite nice that you can't use the same circle twice. So if I plant a seed, I can't immediately upgrade it, so you can't just store your light points and go grow, harvest. You've got to, it's like 4 turns in the making if you always use that same square. You've got to plant the seed there. On your next turn, you've got to grow it to a level 1 tree on your next turn. So I actually messed up this game because I had the middle circle. I had the one that's going to score me 21 points, but I've done it in such a way that I hadn't given myself time to actually harvest it. Even though on the last round I had the light points to do so, I couldn't make it a big tree and harvest it in the same turn, so I lost out there. So if you like that sort of forward planning in a game that doesn't take quite long, this is great.
Okay, Chantal?
It's a really nice family game. The rules are easy enough so that you can play it with the whole family. And as Steve just said it, there's enough strategy to keep everybody interested in that game. I have one huge concern, however, which is the life expectancy of all the components. We've only played, like, I think we're still in single digits, and the trees are in really, like, they tend to be in a bad shape, and they're not quite, like, staying straight anymore. The best way probably to keep the game alive longer would be to, like, take all the trees apart every single time and put them back together, like, before each play, which would be really time consuming and could also damage the components as well. So time will tell, but I've got a concern about that. However, it's a beautiful game, like, well designed and lots of strategy to it. I love it.
Okay, rating?
I think it's solid 8.
Okay, Steve.
I'd go 8, but I'm going to add 0.5 because of the unique theme behind the game.
All right, Steve.
Yeah, very, very unique. I also agree with Chantal about the quality of the components. I would imagine that if these were resin components, that would jack up the price so much, almost double it. But for a rating, yeah, solid 8. Great family game.
Okay. Yeah, the theme is fantastic, and it's one of those games which integrates the mechanics with the theme so well. It's so easy to explain because so much of it makes sense. You're getting light from the sun, where the sun is matters. If the other trees are blocking you, you're not going to get as much light. You know, it all makes sense. So from that point of view, I think it's great. It's a great game you can play with kids who would understand it. Really perfectly into that family weight position, if you like. I really enjoyed it. As Steve said, there's lots to think about. It's not an easy game, first time you play, certainly, but you're going to develop the strategy more as you play it, and it's just interesting. There's lots of interesting decisions to be made. You're better growing lots of little trees all over the place. When you pull the trees off your own board, because you can't plant the trees in the forest if you haven't already bought them, if you like, for your own player board. So there's a lot to think about, and I really enjoyed it. I'd be on an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching. That was Photosynthesis.